Hi folks, I am actually not doing this live. I'm actually recording it using the YouTube record feature. So let's see how that goes. I'm going to start like I did last time, and I'm just checking how I'm looking in terms of the frame. I'm gonna do what I did last time, which is I'm gonna set up the themes that are currently active or relevant, and not focus so much on astrological terminology, and then round it out with the astrological terminology as we proceed for people who are astrologers or enthusiasts or aficionados or amateurs or whatever. So interested. We have a new moon. Today's the 4th, on December the 6th, late December the 6th, so over 48 hours, in over 48 hours time. And I actually, interestingly, if we're going to talk thematically, there were certain messages I wanted to convey. I typically do these around new moons and full moons. I wanted to convey certain things close to the quarter moon, like last Friday or something like that. And 2 days ago, I sat down to record this, and I was using the camera functionality on my phone, and I had to record it 4 times because I was so garbled. And of course, it's the 5th time I'm doing it, and the 4 times I did it on my camera, I had a hard time uploading stuff onto YouTube. So keep in mind that technology snafus, delays, having to do things, have conversations, just about anything to do with commuting or communications or transactions or the use of technology or speaking or writing or communications, skill acquisition, learning, the interactions may just take 3 times as long, or 3 tries, if you want to use that as a guideline, to actually get it right. So if you're dealing with customer service, it may take 3 phone calls instead of 1 to get something straightforward done. And in the meantime, you may feel like you're going absolutely bananas trying to be understood. There's kind of a Twilight Zone ridiculousness to everything that is going on a certain level. And certainly when it comes to communications, know and understand that if you're speaking in complete sentences, whoever you're talking to might look at you as if every second word is dropping, right? Now, this theme of commuting and communications and delays and garbled, crossed wires is going to become especially pronounced over the next 4 or 5 days, even 6 days perhaps, all centering around December the 6th. But so a few days before that, a few days after that. And because we have a new moon on the night of December 6th, U.S. West Coast time, December 7th for a large part of the world. Because we have a new moon on that day, the next 48 to 72 hours may really feel flatter, deader. Traditionally not the best time to start something new or initiate something or give something a lot of push. Time to wrap things up. If you were to say, what is your advice for what we should do over the next 72 hours? I would say as little as possible. Next to nothing. And if you're having conversations or meetings or transacting, wrap up, finish up, keep them relaxed, keep them light, gather information by all means, talk, meet, interact, propose, throw ideas on the wall, but don't start to make up your mind or take action till at least, let's say December 8th, December 12th, somewhere there. I mean, Mercury goes direct on December the 6th, it's stationary on the 6th. And I find that 2 or 3 days after Mercury goes direct can be gnarly. So give it till December the 10th. Just breathe a little. Things at a certain place, just breathe a little. December 10th, December 12th, etc. Now, I've conveyed to you that the energy before a new moon starts to become flat and dead. Kind of even, especially as you head towards the new moon, 48 hours, 24 hours before a new moon. December 6th, once again, late December 6th, U.S. West Coast time. December 7th, for a significant part of the world. The time before a new moon, especially as you head towards it, can get really depressed, kind of get flat. You want to rest. Sometimes you want to sleep. Sometimes you want to do as little as possible. Things become dreamy. Things can feel a little depressed and hopeless. Things don't always manifest. So I've covered that. Once the new moon happens, give it about 48 to 72 hours. And even within the first 48 hours, you may start to feel a bit of a rush or some energy return and a desire to start to take action, take over. The other thing I've mentioned, of course, is the technology snafus and crossed wires and general craziness that a Mercury retrograde stationary going direct brings. Now, all of that factors into what the energy of the time really is. Between November the 25th and 27th, we had, I'm going to do a little bit of astrology here, we had the planet Jupiter, the Sun, and Mercury retrograde. Between the 25th and 27th of November, kind of cross paths. Whenever the Sun, if this is the Sun and this is Jupiter, whenever the Sun crosses over Jupiter, that day, the 25th, for some part of the world, or thereabouts, depending on where you are, is considered by some people to be the luckiest day of the year. I hope you do not subscribe to these kinds of grandiose, I hope you don't subscribe to this kind of bullshit. So to be blunt, I don't, what is lucky and what is unlucky, and are all endings bad or are all beginnings good, and is something that is considered successful really the best possible thing? Is failure not helpful? Or, what is really lucky? So let's just, and the other thing is, if you look back to the 25th, Russia seized Ukrainian ships. So I'm just like, okay, a lucky day. We're going to be at war soon or something. So what I do find with the Sun and Jupiter crossing is that, as I've maintained, any transit that occurs takes on and contributes to the conversation at that time. It is not an isolated event. It is not the only thing that is happening. It is in the middle of a lot of things happening. I will maintain that 18 months from now, you may not be able to think back to November 2018 and realize that was the pivot. But that is the pivot. There's an energetic shift in November of 2018. And the Sun crossing Jupiter in that month, to me, indicates and feels like at around that time, the last week of December, as Thanksgiving was behind us, a kind of a new portal opened. A new portal opened that started to introduce events, and more than events, an energy and a feeling that we are ready to move forward. And indeed, ready to move forward, I would largely say, in what seems to be a hopeful and a constructive and a freeing and a liberating direction. We don't know the outcome of that yet, but that is the general feeling, the general theme, the general energetic feeling, the general course of events, almost to some extent as if to negate the last 18 months. Or to say like the last 18 months to 3 years never even happened. A fresh start. With critical planets like Venus and Mercury in their retrograde going direct cycles, with relationship changes, with everything. New areas to focus on, but more importantly, a new portal opening that we start to move towards. The challenge is that until this new moon on December the 6th, the energies are stressful. My request or suggestion to everyone is to really commit to resolution and peace and acknowledge that everyone is finally starting to move in the direction that they need to, and to try to truly move forward in a direction that tries to resolve things as you move forward. In other words, if there have been tensions in relationships for the past 18 months or even 3 years, or there's certain things that are not working, if there's a shift, commit to that shift and really see if things can be brought. It's not just bringing to repair. There is an opportunity it could eventually be a surprising and a dramatic change. It could be a completely new direction. It could be, wait, we used to be like this and now we're like this? How did that happen? So November does have bring that kind of change or possibility to it in the longer term. Until December the 6th, it's about, until November the 6th, it's like, if you want to say that as we headed towards November the 25th, we entered the birth canal, I would say that we're experiencing that the divine as the mother is going through labor pains and we're trying to emerge out of the other end. And as I have maintained in my last few videos, I can't wait for the middle of December, because I really feel like once we cross Mercury going direct, once we pass over the new moon, there's just a much greater chance of feeling like, all right, I'm out of this, I'm born. And everyone is going through that. So the tensions and the stresses that have been at play, especially since the 25th, as we entered the birth canal, but more importantly, it's not just understanding that everyone is going through this birth canal, is having labor pains being inflicted on us. Not as the person who's having the labor pains, but the person who's actually in the birth canal. It's the universe who's doing the labor pains to say, come on, we've got to get through this. You know, it's a new beginning. Change is afoot. And so in preparation for that change, the circumstances have to be created in such a way that things can really move or shift, or a certain amount of resistance to change can be given up, or etc. Now, do not currently, while Mercury is stopping in the sky, it was retrograde, it's getting slower and slower and slower. December the 6th, it's going to stop. At least that's how, it's not really going to stop, but that's how it looks to us. And then after December the 6th, slowly it'll start to move forward and then gain momentum. Okay? So over the next 3 or 4 days, try to not commit to any decision. Because it could be that as Mercury was going this way, we thought this was going to happen and this is what we were going to explore, this is what we were going to do. And after Mercury goes direct, and as time goes on and as we head to the middle of December onwards, we feel like, oh, I thought this, but now let's do this. Or there was information that was missing, or hidden, or unclear, or not thought through, or poorly conceived or developed. And then as we head to the middle of December, everyone, as we emerge through this birth canal, will be like, oh, okay. Oh, this is what's actually going, this is what is actually going to be best. This is what is actually going to support us all as we disperse from the collective womb, from the cage that we've all been in over the last 18 months, to feel like, okay, now what do we do to help and support each other as you move forward, and as you move forward, and as I move forward, and as you move forward, and as you move forward, what's going to support that moving forward? And if you're at a point where it feels like you have some control, and this could be short-term, so this could be tensions with people since the 25th, or this could even be relationships that have been under a certain amount of duress for the past 3 odd years. Commit to the best possible outcome. So it isn't just, oh, things are better, so maybe I'm going to, where I was closed off from someone 100%, I'm going to open up just about 80%. I wasn't giving anything, now I'm going to give 20%. No. Commit to the vision of 100%. Commit to the possibility of renewed and complete understanding. Because things will clearly not be where they were before, but especially if you dealt with things around October the 5th or the middle of November in relationships. But these are relationships that have been going on for a while, some of them. Commit to seeing if there can be a renewed understanding. You don't have to go back to where things were. That's not what I'm saying. Because especially recently, there's been a lot of focus on authenticity. Our own authenticity. We think it's authenticity with others, but authenticity with others, even if it's to tell them that they're not being authentic, means that we have to be authentic and at least acknowledge to ourselves that something is wrong here and then take the necessary steps. So whether you have been called on, whether your own authenticity and integrity has been questioned, or whether you have been the one who's been doing the questioning, or whether you've been questioning your own as you question somebody else's, recognize that certain things are now probably permanently different. But that doesn't mean that repair is not possible, or understanding or a handshake is not possible. And I think the biggest damage that anyone can do possibly is to say, I'm going to be unforgiving. Because the energy of the time, it has actually a lot more potential than that as we move forward. especially as we head towards the next 18 months. There's a car alarm that went off, so I suggest you pay attention to what I just said, because it is illuminating it. I'm trying to think of something wise to say so that I can be cushioned with that car alarm. Great, I'll commit to saying something not very wise now. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I really want to bring up. No, that's good. The December 6th new moon will bring what new moons bring every 28 days. A reset, a focus on a new part of your life on a chart. And within 24 to 48 hours of a new moon, typically something subtle starts to make itself felt. But of course, it's inaugurating a 28-day cycle, so it could take a little longer for things to develop. 1. 2, the next 48 to 72 hours may get deader and flatter. Try to not make decisions for the next week. And especially over the next 72 hours, commit to wrapping things up and getting things done. You don't have to be in inaction. You can very much be in action, but it could very much be about sorting things out and closing things out and trying to gather information, as opposed to signing on the dotted line. If someone, in some ways, it's a great time to take a little bit of time off, actually, and just kind of allow yourself to reset after December 6th night or December 7th, wherever you are at, or whatever the time of the new moon is, wherever you're at. I don't want to steal the limelight for someone for whom it might be happening earlier in December the 6th. Around November the 25th, there was an even bigger reset that we may have felt energetically, and we are moving in a new direction. And it is one to be welcomed. But the time period between December the 25th and December the 6th, and maybe even December the 10th or 12th, is one where circumstances and restrictions are being created so that we can break through them and come through the other end of the birth canal. Relationships, authenticity have undergone a test recently. Commit to seeing where you are and see if you can move forward and build on that in a constructive and a loving way. I felt like there was one more thing that came to me that I really wanted to mention and highlight. There we go. Issues related to crises in 2015 and 2016. For astrology folks, issues related to the sign of Pisces and the eclipses in Pisces. 2015, 2016. There's the potential for a certain amount of energy and some of the energy till the end of December might be combative, driven, aggressive, assertive, fights. And again, some of this may be relationship related. But then between January and March of 2019, all of the energy is trying to be healing, ultimately, and is trying to create resolution and trying to put a band-aid on things, a bandage on things. One more thing for astrology aficionados, the sign of Scorpio is active again. So in a part of your chart where auspicious new beginnings have been trying to be created since October of 2017 to November of 2018, October the 10th of 2017 to November the 8th of 2018, maybe a couple of months even before that it could have been felt, before October 2017. It's as if December might bring some of those new beginnings, or that resolution, or that seed might be planted, or the old couch might be removed so that new beginning can be created, or the space for that new beginning can be created. And some of us may have waited for 13 months wondering when it was going to happen, but it was really going to happen in December of this year, now, this month, with energies being stressful till the 6th, stressful for a few days after the 6th of December, starting to become clear as we head to the 12th, and after the 12th, even better potentially. Potentially. Venus is in Scorpio, so I'm going to watch that space. The Scorpio energy that I'm just talking about, which is a little bit more esoteric for people who don't understand their charts, it could be that issues related to the end of September and much of October are coming back to be revisited and closed out one final time. But those issues in September, October, for some people, there was a shift in September, October in certain relationships or certain, it depends. For some people, it's been a series of developments leading to this new beginning. And for some people, it's September, October that brought the potential or the possibility for new beginnings, and December really tries to cement that and make that move forward, especially as you get past the 6th. So, oh my God, 20 odd minutes, you poor people. Be patient with the next few days. A certain amount of damage may already be done, and there might be pieces that have fallen to the floor to some extent. We are wrapping things up, closing things out. Try to not be too decisive over the next week. Try to be peaceful, try to leave things, try to figure out, because the energies will just not be clear. And it could even be that the next 6 days, whether we like it or not, just brings its own turmoil because things are going this way. Things are just all over the place. Things have become more confusing. Things just kind of stand still for some reason. So you may try not to create a certain amount of drama or chaos, but it may be that drama and chaos ensues. So the need to be still is never more pronounced than before a new moon and when Mercury is stationary. And you have both of those going on December the 6th. Once that is over, once we head to the 10th, give it 4 days, 12th, let Mercury change signs. Things can start to move forward. And indeed, from the middle of December to March the 5th or the 6th, I would say from the middle of December till the end of February, there's a chance for us all to really, truly move forward. Becomes even more pronounced after January, but Uranus being retrograde doesn't concern me that much when it comes to the mundane execution of our activities and us meeting our goals. Okay, I will leave it at that. This 5th time around has been a lot more satisfying. So thanks for listening. I'm going to post this onto, it's going to be posted on YouTube in a few minutes. I'm going to post it on Facebook in a few minutes, and then I'm going to repost it after the new moon. Okay, thanks. Bye.